David.
Hi there, Novak. You had a good experience in Geneva last week, winning the tournament. You've made a good start here. You've also had some great success in the Rome tournament in the past and had good experiences there. I just wondered if you could clarify why you chose not to play Rome this time.
It was a decision to play Madrid instead of Rome this year. That was not normally the case. Like if I had to choose between the two, I would normally be choosing Rome. As schedule-wise, it was just better. But yeah, this year I wanted to play Madrid. I haven't played it in a while, and I felt like that I just didn't want to play both. As I played Monte Carlo quite early shortly after Miami, which maybe wasn't the best decision, but again, Monte Carlo is a place where I feel like at home, and I always have temptation to play. You know, it was hard to skip that one. But anyway, Geneva was not in the plans. It was not in the schedule. But I was talking with my team and decided to have that because I didn't have practically only 2 matches on clay, and I'm a type of player that, you know, is required to play a bit more in order to find the right game for clay. You know, it doesn't come very natural to me as maybe for some other guys. And I rarely started really well on clay, like if you analyze all of my seasons in my career. So it takes a little bit of time for me to, yeah, get accustomed with the surface and movement and striking the ball. So I think it was a good move to go to Geneva, to be honest, because I was also, you know, struggling a little bit with confidence level, you know, and doubting my game a bit, and so it was good that I got 4 matches under my belt, won a title, and, you know, coming into Roland Garros, it feels different than I had, comparing to the feeling I had 3 weeks ago, you know. So, you know, let's see how far I can go here, but I have a good feeling for now.
I know, Novak, your next opponent will be French. Whoever you play. Curious how you might compare the way the crowds here support their players as compared to anywhere else. And have you seen that change over the years? And there have been some complaints from non-French opponents who play French players here that it's gotten worse and that the crowds treat the opponents more poorly now. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, it's logical to expect that. Let's take all 4 slams. You know, anywhere you go and you play the local player coming from that country where the slam is played, that they're going to have the crowd on their side, and it's nothing strange about it. It's expected. But it is true that here in France and in Paris, comparing to other slams, the people are louder and more passionate and just give more support and louder support and more energy to their player, which, you know, for some players can be annoying. And I know I mean, it's not the kind of ideal environment you want to be playing in, but you have to be ready for it. So I played in a lot of hostile environments in my career, and it's not something I haven't experienced before. I'm not saying that it's going to be hostile for me or not. I mean, I just expect if I play a French player in Roland Garros that I would expect that most of the people would cheer the French player, and it's nothing personal to me at all. But, you know, on the court, when you're there and when certain things happen that cross the line, I do understand the players who, you know, protect their space, their integrity, and if somebody disrespects you, you have hecklers. I don't think they're my majority. In contrary, you know, there's always a few people here and there sometimes that would cross the line, and it happened to me quite a few times actually in my career, and then sometimes I would just ignore, but you know, sometimes I would face them, and that's it. You know, then we would be crossing each other, but back and forth, and it's yeah, it's a battle out there, you know. Sometimes it's not just a battle with a player.
I know, like, in the first set, there looked like there was quite a back and forth with you and the umpire and your opponent with the umpire about the roof and the conditions and all of that. Could you just sort of clarify what those conversations were, what was going on?
No, I was just asking, you know, if and when they are going to make a decision to close the roof, you know, and how long we will have to play. That was my first question, how long we are going to play under that rain, because it was quite pouring rain out there on the court, and it was affecting the court as well. You know, court became quite damp and a lot of bad bounces, etc. And the first information I got from chair umpires that that they decided to wait, and so I asked who is they and where are they, you know, and then he said that it's, you know, supervisors and others that are deciding to leave it open. And I said, can I just speak to them and can they come and see it, you know, because it's quite different from the office or stands and actually being on the court. So that's all basically what was to it. Then I just asked whether there's a difference, because they're anywhere going to, if they decide to close the roof, they're going to make us play. So as we were playing while the roof was closing. So I said, you know, what difference does it make to close it now comparing to, say, in 15 minutes or whatever it is? So that was, McDonald was also complaining about that, you know, when I broke his serve at 3-2, then he asked the supervisor, why aren't you closing it now? And he said, let's wait for another game. So it was quite confusing because on the radar, apparently they were not seeing, you know, they were seeing that he's going to stop, but it didn't look like stopping. So anyway, I just, and then at one point, supervisor told me, you know, but they're playing everywhere on the outside courts in the same conditions. And I say, yeah, but I mean, we are on the court with the roof. So, I mean, it's also, why do you have the roof then? I mean, what's the point? You know what I mean? So that's all basically, you know. In the end, they closed the roof, which I think most of the stadium wanted. I mean, if I understood well in French, they were singing asking basically for roof to be closed. And I think it was better for everyone, for the players, for the nice. Last time I was there playing was finals of Olympics, so of course I did relive those memories that were wonderful. And but you know, it was quite challenging conditions, I think, at the beginning of the match with the wind and rain and everything that was happening. So you know, it took me some time to really find the rhythm on the court, with striking the ball and moving, because conditions were quite different from Geneva. So, but all in all, a solid match. 3 times 6-3. So it's, you know, it's good. It can always be better, but I must be content and satisfied with the first round.
Si te ha gustado este video, no olvides de suscribirte y activar la campanita. Espero que disfrutes de tu día.